listening to Living Free, your podcast for a life full of freedom and magic. I'm your host, Tanja Hirsch, and I hope that every time you listen, you feel a little bit more inspired to follow your intuition and to create a life beyond your wildest dreams. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to the Living Free podcast. Today I'm gonna dive into a solo soul naked episode, and I know I said I only publish twice a month, but I'm kind of overflowing, and I'm feeling this desire to share this episode with you because there's so much coming through since my channel is clear, and I'm so excited to share what's coming up. And today we're gonna dive into the reason why your manifestations or the results you're desiring to see in your life might not be there yet. So maybe you do all the things, you meditate in the morning, you do your yoga practice, you read all the spiritual books, you listen to the podcasts like this one, and for some reason it seems to work for everyone you follow on Instagram, but for yourself you don't see the results yet. And I've been in this phase for a very, very long time, where I devoted my life to these practices, and I skipped the parties on the weekends, and I really dove into all the practices. And what I see in most of my clients that I work with, and that I also see when I look back at my life, why I didn't see the results I was desiring. And sometimes we cannot see them because these are blind spots, is that we are so focused on our upper chakras, everything that is happening in our body, in the upper chakras, so the upper part of your body, your crown chakra, your intuition, your heart chakra, your throat, everything that gives you these pleasurable experiences of expansion, and you might have glimpses of a feeling that there's more than this material world, that there's actually a huge spiritual world that connects everything and everyone, and that you're part of it, and that you are part of the universe, and all the things that are out there and that are beautiful. And I started with that, but I missed a huge piece that is very essential, and that is the embodiment and the actual healing. Not reading the affirmations every day, not sugarcoating your healing with your journal practice, but to really dive into the pain that has caused your suffering in the first place. And that is the reason why you keep on repeating the patterns in your life, why you always fall back into old patterns, into old limitations. Even though you think you already healed that and you already transformed that, you still find yourself in these limiting patterns. And I'm going to give you a few examples, so this might be a little bit more easy to understand for you. Maybe you're like me and you're an empath, you feel a lot, and you worry about a lot of people and what they are feeling and how they feel about you, and how people, how they feel about you and what they think about you and how your reactions make them feel. I was like this for a very long time, that I've always felt responsible for their reactions, how they felt about me. And it was a huge reason why I was dimming my light so often, because I could feel immediately how people reacted to me, and if it would make them feel uncomfortable, I would hide my light. And especially in relationships, if you if you surround yourself with me for a long time, and that's why my one-on-one containers and group programs are so powerful, because if you're in the energy with people who have done the work, it's like two big icebergs in the water. And if one iceberg, and I'm creating the picture of your subconscious and your conscious, and the conscious is above the water, the subconscious is underneath. And if you're next to someone whose subconscious is pretty developed, and a lot of the subconscious is already in the conscious, to balance the water out, your subconscious has to rise as well. I hope that makes sense for you. I just want to create a picture why this work is so powerful, to be surrounded by people who are there where you want to be. And also the reason it also works the other way around, why you don't get where you want to be, because you're surrounded by people who also feel stuck and complain and victimize themselves in their life. The power of osmosis, you could also call it like that. But the point that I wanted to get on is, if you're like this and you have these patterns of people pleasing and of worrying and overthinking and being in your head all the time and being in hustle mode and leaving everything for everyone, but pushing down your own needs and your own desires, then you will find yourself attracting partners and even relationships and maybe even family members that will mirror that back to you, that will mirror your belief that you deeply is imprinted in your body, in your system, since you were a child. It will get mirrored back to you, and you will always find yourself back in these patterns. Even if you transmuted a limiting belief from I'm not good enough to enough, it's not done by just saying it in your mind. To be able to transmute that in your body, so you don't fall back into the patterns of feeling not good enough, feeling not worthy of love, feeling like you always overgive and find yourself empty because you close yourself from receiving true love. You have to get to the root cause of it, and the root cause always lies in our lower chakras, especially in our root chakra and in our sacral chakra. The root is responsible for feeling safe in your body, and the second chakra, the sacral, is responsible. If you have blockages there, you might not feel creative, you might not feel alive, you might not feel sexual, you might not feel sensual, you might not be able to experience pleasure in your everyday life. And even the third chakra is very important, the Manipura chakra, for your power, to give to draw the power back into your body. Because if you complain and you see yourself as a victim and you don't know why everything is happening and you feel drained all the time and judge other people, then you give your power away all the time. You're leaking your energy. If you don't have boundaries, if you say yes to everyone, even if you're feeling no and you're overstepping the needs of your own body, then you can't be in your power. And to be able to get your power back, you need to do the deep inner healing work. And the deeper work that is necessary, this can't be shared on a podcast, but I'm gonna share with you what my next offering is all about, where we will really dive deep into that. But I want to share with you why you might feel stuck right now and why you might not see the changes you're desiring in your life, because you're sugarcoating it with the shallow light, love and light healing. But the part that is essential for you to really get into your power, to really be connected to your body, to your truth, to your intuition, to your womb, to the primal feminine energy that is wild and untamed and feels safe to express herself. It goes all the way up through your body. It is essential to go to the root cause that lies 99% in your childhood. And if you don't have any memories of your childhood and think, I don't have trauma, I don't have pain, emotional pain stored in my body, then chances are that you do, because your body's dissociated from this experience. If we experience something that was too much for us to feel in the past, and I've had so many that came up in the last few months, then that's a big sign that you have dissociated from your body in these experiences. Meaning you were a little girl and you had an experience that was too much for you to handle. For example, I shared this on my Instagram the other day that I was in primary school and my parents were constructing the house, and I felt so unseen and so unheard and not cared for and being left alone and like a burden. I felt like even existing and breathing is too much. So I went into the garden and I was hiding behind the garden house. And I wanted to see if anyone cares about me. I wanted to see if anyone even notices that I'm not there anymore. And I was hiding, and I was getting angrier and more frustrated and more lonely, and felt even more unlovable and more unworthy of love. And I started to cry, and my tears went rolling down my cheeks into my rubber boots. And I remember this so clearly, but I didn't remember this for a very long time. It just came back in this moment after my breakup, when I felt something is off in my, like I could feel this tension in my chest, and I couldn't get to the root cause of it. And that's the thing, sometimes we have this feeling, we feel triggered and it feels uncomfortable, and then we distract ourselves. We meet people, we watch Netflix, we go on our phone, and we drag this feeling for days sometimes until it disappears, but it's never released out of your body. It's never embraced. It's like you're pushing parts of yourself away. And then I woke up with this feeling in my chest, and I went on my paddleboard like I always do in the morning, and I meditated around the sharks and the rays. And when I opened my eyes, this feeling was still there. And I went back and I cleared my whole schedule, a podcast that I had planned, and I cleared the whole day. And I was like, okay, I want to get to the root cause of it. I'm not going to distract myself. I'm not going to numb myself. I'm going to sit with it. And then I sat down, and I noticed I'm not really in my body. I'm a lot in my head to find a solution to not feel this. So I shaked, I breathed, I did a breath work, I did a dancing, and then slowly, when I was in my body, I could feel this opening in my chest, and I could feel tears running down my face, and I could feel the expansion. But actually before the expansion, I could feel the sadness, I could feel the loneliness, and I was quantumly back into that moment where I was hiding behind the garden house, and how alone I felt and how unseen I felt. And it started to get dark, and I was cold, and still no one showed up to look after me, and I felt so unloved and so unworthy of love. And I reprogrammed that by really sitting with her and hugging her and showing her that her feelings are valid, and that it has nothing to do with her. I showed her how busy my parents were, that they didn't mean to hurt me, they didn't mean to make me feel unlovable, that it's not the truth, and the reason why they didn't come wasn't because of me or my worth, that I am limitless, worthy and lovable, and that I will always be there for her. And I really sit with her, and I let her cry, and we both cried, and we hugged each other, and it was really healing, and my heart expanded, and my chest opened, and I could feel this warm sensation in my chest from feeling from feeling contracted and closed. I could feel this expansion, and that's exactly the work we need to do if we want to see results in our lives. And this was just one example. I know I skipped a little bit from A to B like I always do, but I hope you get to the root cause of what I want to share with you. That sometimes we get so caught up in, doing all the nice stuff, all the manifestations and affirmations, and we wonder why we don't see the results, why we still attract the people that don't make us feel worthy and not good enough. It's because we never go to the root cause of why we attracted these people in the first place. And this is always rooted in our lower bodies. There's so much repressed, suppressed emotions in our hips, in our yonis, in our root chakra, and that's why I'm so passionate about combining sacred sexuality with the healing work and the embodiment work, because we need to get in our bodies if we want to see the results in our lives. We cannot think our way to the future we desire. We have to get into the body and to release what's blocking us on the way to get there. Meaning, if you have suppressed emotions in your lower body, your life force energy will not be able to flow through you. And sometimes we need a lot of guidance along the way. We cannot do all of it alone, because sometimes we can't even see that. For me, I thought for a very, very long time that I don't even have an inner child. I really was convinced this is just for the people who had abusive parents and like lost a parent or got hit or raped, or I thought this is just for the people that had really, really bad experiences, until I realized the reason why I couldn't connect with my inner child was because I left her alone for so long, and she was just scared and lonely, but she came up in so many moments. And in my love life, if I look back, I had so many possibilities to see her and to connect with her, but I chose to distract myself and to run away from it and to move to something else. And it's completely different now. Even after my breakup, I feel whole and I feel calm and I feel I got me. Even if everything else falls away, I'm my best friend and lover, and I don't stay in relationships any longer that don't feel aligned with my soul, because why would we? If we feel worthy of love and we know we deserve what we desire, why would we stay in situations that make us feel drained and make us feel not the way we desire to feel? And every single time I attracted guys that would ghost me, that would be completely into me, and after 2 weeks they would not reply anymore, or they were emotional unavailable. Like, I attracted so many toxic men because myself, I was kind of toxic. I accepted it and I saw myself as a victim all this time. I was like, oh my God, why does this happen? I'm such a good person and they always use me, they take advantage of me. It always comes down to the root of your pain, of the emotions that are stuck in your body, that are creating and recreating these patterns over and over again in your life, until you finally don't run away anymore, but sit with it and go into it. And that was what I wanted to share with you. And this goes to every single area of your life. For example, even after I moved to French Polynesia and followed my soul's calling, and I thought, now everything's going to change and I'm going to be rewarded for my courage, I went into this deep hole, because even though I changed my outer reality, I moved to another country, I followed my calling, I didn't change my patterns. I still was overgiving and didn't feel worthy in my business and friendships and relationships. It already got better, but I still didn't dig all the way in. I was aware of it, but I still found myself being depleted, attracting clients that were not a full body yes, that I kind of had to convince to work with me, until the point I reached rock bottom again. And I shared that in my previous podcast interview, where I just shut down everything for a month. I went offline and I went traveling after these months of trauma healing and identity shedding. And that's when I realized, wow, I'm in this position again where I feel drained and not excited and motivated. Even though I created this life, it was because I didn't go to the root cause of it. I didn't heal my unworthiness issues and the feeling of being unlovable. And there's a lot of shadow work, a lot of identity shedding, a lot of inner child healing. So many things involved that are deep, but that are necessary for us to really embrace all of us and to become the woman that you want to be, that you came here to be. And sometimes we are so caught up in our identity. I'm just a nice person, I'm just a giving person, but in reality this is conditioned and this is a limitation and this is programmed and this is not the essence of who you are. This is trauma. And if you go through the pain and release it out of your system, your channel can flow freely and you can express all of you and show the world the real you. You can shine your light and be the woman you are born to be. And this is my biggest mission in this lifetime, to connect you back with your inner wisdom, the wisdom of your body, the wisdom of your intuition, of your womb, of your heart, so you can create a life that feels good. Not a life that looks good on the outside, but a life that really is in alignment with who you truly are on a soul level and not on a conditioned, programmed level. And if you want to dive deeper into this, I created a free masterclass for those of you who are ready to do the work and that want to know how to get there. I will share with you the exact steps that I went through and that I will guide you through in my upcoming program to get you there. So you can see the results, and not only during this time we work together, but for a lifetime, to know the tools, to know your worth, to become the woman that loves herself, all of her, so you can shine your light into the world and create a life that your soul is longing for, and where you don't have to hide parts of yourself, where you have to swallow down your truth, where you have to dim your light to fit in, but a life that feels expansive, a life that feels nourishing. And I'm so excited to share this with you. You find all the infos on my website, imtanjahirsch.com, or here on the links in my show notes. And I will also share about it on my Instagram. So, I hope this was helpful. I'm gonna dive more into this because you see I'm very passionate about this, and I want to experience this feeling of freedom and connection and truth and expansion for every single one of you who is ready. I decided to only work with full body yes women that are really stepping into the most expansive version of themselves, that believe in a future version of them. Even if you can't see it yet, you can feel it in your bones, this burning desire that you are here for more, and you're ready to believe in yourself. You're ready to trust in this version, even if you can't see her yet. And if this is you, sign up for my free masterclass, and maybe my upcoming offer is perfectly designed to get you there.